Hi traders, I'm going to start by looking at stocks sector by sector. This is the mining sector. This is Fresnillo in the UK. I was interested in the way this, it's been pretty sold, pretty weak. There's a lot of dips down here. Then we started to recover. We had a new low. Didn't have a close next day. We had a close 2 days later. So I started nibbling this at this level here, and we're currently 492. Now, given that the gold is at the moment has reversed and is showing strength, I would sit tight. But just be careful that this is a weak market. We're hitting resistance. We are getting higher RSI. You might want. I would just either take your profits or manage to stop on this, because if we start closing lower than this could roll over. Alright, so manage the trade, actively manage the trade on a daily basis, not on an hourly basis, just to try and keep in this trade. Gem Diamonds, let's come off. Hochschild Mining is struggling. Again, similar story. We had a couple of, three decent waves down. Then we started to hold this area here and we pushed up through the 50 MA. We're getting high RSI. Just manage to stop. If you're in this one, just get your stop 2 bars back and see if you can stay in it for any potential higher moves where it might come up to the 200. Alright, the retail and banking sector. This is W.H. Smith's. I think we've got a double top basis here. I think this is a wedge begging to come down. If you short at that level there, which would put it at 103.6, you can get a stop at 105.6, so relatively tight. And other ones I like, so look at M&S. That's already seen a star and a drop, so that's a short on a pullback to 487. I tend to prefer Halfords has already fallen off the edge. Would I short that still? The trouble is here, the risk-reward ratios are not looking good. If you hang back, see if we get any bounce in this and then short higher up, then I would take it. Debenhams, I mentioned this one. I thought that was a great short at 85 and closed lower next day, and then we just rolled over. So if you're a stock trader, I do hope you are taking advantage of some of these setups. Because let's have a look at Debenhams. It's in a huge downtrend. Any blueness is sold into redness. Does that make sense? I hope so. Any pullbacks, I should say, is sold into resistance. So we had a decent pullback here, but we got close to 50 MA, closed under this 85.6, closed lower. So even if you waited for more confirmation down here, this is a good short. This is a weak stock. So any pullbacks, any moves to the upside, any rallies are to be sold into. Carphone Warehouse is struggling. That topped out at 286. It's currently 275. So we'll look at UK stocks first, and then we will look at US. And that one is struggling as well. Heavily downturned. This could end up like Debenhams. If that starts, could see another close below 540 tomorrow. I think that's a good short. If you shorted that at 545, you need to stop above 565. So that's retail sector. Banking has already suffered. This is Standard Chartered. It's in a downtrend. So, pullbacks, rallies were sold into. Rallies sold into, rally sold into. If you buy the lows and then you sell at resistance, fine. But as long as you're prepared to manage you're good at managing your risk. But the trend trading on this one is the short side, and RBS has already long since gone, and Barclays got too hot up there. New high, closed below next day, short to the fib level, and then here we are at 271. Right, let's stay on the subject of the UK stocks. I'm going to go off piece now, come away from the sector look, and just get into ones that are on my watch list. Sage, I think that is a short up there. This is a new high, closed below. Let's have a look at the risk-reward ratio here, and we have got a gap to fill down here at 350. So let's look at this from the point of view of entry and target and so on. So the entry for the short would be 424. Your stop's got to be 438, and your target, if we get a gap, if we get a gap fill, is 350. So the risk-reward ratio is nice there if it works. So let's just go through that again. So this is SGE, entry 424, and then target 350. Okay. And eShore has had a lovely run, and that is coming right back down. So I would be interested to see if this can hold lower down. I don't want to short that. I want to see if I can buy a pullback. Ocado is vulnerable. Man Group. So I'm not in this. I did take this up into resistance. Was looking to see if we could hold back here, and then we're dropping. So I'm just standing aside. And Tate Mile is turning out to be a good short at the moment now as well. That's a low close. I have to admit, it's harder to. It's much more time consuming to scan for UK shorts. So I will now flip to. I see the supermarkets have been selling but are holding up here. So considering what a weekday we had on Friday, that's relative strength. So we've got Sainsbury's here. There's been selling, pull back into the 50, selling, pull back into the 200, selling, pull back into the 200, gap down, pull back into resistance, and now we're just holding up in this box here. So nice little story in Sainsbury's. I sometimes find it's just best just to talk yourself around the story, talk yourself around what's happening with that stock, and then you can see where the entries are. I wouldn't want to short this because the short area, there's no short signal at the moment because the short signal has been and gone up here slightly higher. If we close underneath here, then the risk-reward ratio is poor. So that the opportunity for that one has been and gone. And Tesco has got a hammer on support. I wouldn't want to buy that, but likewise I wouldn't want to sell it. And Morrison's is just trying to hang on as well. The risk-reward ratio is not poor for that setup. If you're in Rolls-Royce, we've already seen the high oil price tends to knock this one, as airlines might retrench and get conservative with their contracts and purchases. So Rolls-Royce has really come off the boil here. It's coming back into my box. I need to rearrange the fibs on this one, but we've got the 200 EMA down there. 3 days of heavy selling. We already had some coming off. We've got close to 130 up there, and now we're right the way down here. So if you're in this, I hope you're watching for these sell signals, because now the potentially looks as if they might hold that box, but we came back out again once we hit this resistance area here. Would I short this? Certainly not. No, not with low RSI. Another one of my longs I've been in. I'm just about to get out of this one. Actually, I'm not triggered. my stop's not triggered yet. My stop here is just under 141, but I'm nervous about this because we've got high RSI, a couple of spinning tops. I'll hold my stop. I will hold my stop. Just hope that doesn't gap down on me. And I will consider re-entering if these lower areas hold on PFD, Premier Foods. Well, let's go straight into the US stocks. And eBay had a very nice move to the upside into 6,000. If you're in there, I hope you've got out there. I hope you had an exit order up there because that was a great place to get out. That was a 127 extension. If you're still sitting in there, I'd ask yourself why you're still sitting in there when it's hit the fib level, because that got high RSI, and this is a nice breakout pattern. The chances of that going higher were not great based on that sort of topping tail. So planning your exit would have got you a very nice profit if you took these hammers down here, because if it was a hammer down here, move up, pull back to fibs, held up here, and then we just broke out. Would I short it? No, I'd sit tight. Okay, but you can see from some of the bellwethers, this is Goldman Sachs. A lot of topping tails up here. Red bars started dominating and engulfing, and then there we are all the way down there. FedEx, another bellwether, that is well and truly off the boil. That's a short, obviously, because it's nice and red, but there's a lot of local support, so that one is not so great. BlackBerry reached great heights and then started pulling back. Bank of America, classic bellwether, 2 days of heavy selling. Right, let's look at the ones I'm interested in now. This is CHD. So we've got a couple of reasonable moves up. But then we started selling at we struggled at 67.46, and now we're under the 50 EMA. The reason why I like it is because it's a reversal bar under the 50 EMA. The stop is relatively tight. Your stop's got to be above that 66.21 entry. Try and get a pullback to the mid-range of the bar. Weekly has engulfed, and we've got the 8 and 21 day moving average over and above this. So the entry on this is 65.20, and your stop has got to be 66.21. Risk reward ratio, yeah. If you get a pullback, if you're lucky enough to get a pullback, then and you get stopped to there, you are risking 65.20. 100 points. And you're just on about 3 to 1 on CHD. Incidentally, I am ramping my stop up on GG. My stop was down here at 230. My stop is now going to be 23.34. Because I got a pullback here on this blue bar here. We're under a trend line here, so that's the reason why I'm ramping my stop up. This is APOL, APOL, Apollo Group. We had a shooting star up there, hang on the air for a while. This is a shooting star under the weekly 200 EMA. So I'm looking for a pullback to there to see if we can come down to that level there. So levels are, pullback is 34.25, stop is 35.04, and the target is 27.15. Initially, obviously, there's a massive gap down here, so if we can't hold this, then we manage to stop and we can keep going, then hang on. See what you think about any of these. I mean, make your own judgments on these. This is a new high, closed below next day on LYV, Live Nation Entertainment. Stop's got to be above Thursday's high. Your entry is, I would try and get 21, 210. So your stop's got to be above 21270, and the target is to try and at least get all the way down to 1961, possibly lower. Divergent RSI, new high, close above close below next day. So I like LVY. Let me just make a note of that entry. These are just suggestions. These are my suggestions. You need to go through your own analysis and see if you like them. I'm interested in vulnerable stocks that will be vulnerable to this reversal in the markets, and this is a good one. Hold out for 8272 on Manpower, MAN, with a stop. I would just go above that resistance. If I don't get fill, I'm going to walk away. If I do get fill, I'll look to see if I can get that kind of pullback. So 8272 is the entry. The stop is 8414. And I'm going to see if I can get a pullback right down to that daily 200. So if you're scanning, look for vulnerable stocks. Look for retailers who are perhaps coming off. A lot of them have already come off. Look for financial stocks. So look for sectors that are going to be vulnerable. Anything to do with consumer goods. All of these. And be wary of shorting gold and oil, because gold and oil has been doing well, although oil is looking like a short now. Next one, airlines. I like airlines. They're vulnerable to consumer reining in their expenses if these markets do get very wobbly, and these are coming off. Risk reward ratio is not good on that. This is Anglo American Airlines, AAL. I'm going to cross that off my list. UAL, United Airlines. Let's pull this one off. Yep. Okay, so the pullback is 469. The stop's got to be 851, and the target is at least the gap fill. So that's the entry, that's the stop. So you're risking that much risk for that much reward on UAL. And last but not least, I've got MGA. New high, close below next day. Entry double top. Entry is Thursday's low. Target is gap fill and 50 EMA. So where does that leave us? That leaves us with a pullback of 8728 and a target down there of 8285 on MGA, Magna International. Alright, I'll leave it there. And the Tuesday Stock Scan Club will be up and running for 10 o'clock UK time on Tuesday, so please join me if you're available. Enjoy what's left of your weekend and be careful out there.